Shalom Mishpachah, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Jeremy Beaton, Chief Rabbi. We are reading today from the book of 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 1. 1. For as much then as Messiah has suffered for you in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. 2. That he no longer should live the rest of his time chasing after evil desire, but to the will of Elohim. 3. For we have spent enough time in the past of our life, the Gentiles, when we walked in indecencies, lusts, drunkenness, orgies, wild parties, and abominable idolatries. 4. Wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. 5. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the living and the dead. 6. For this cause was the Besorah, good news, proclaimed also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to Elohim in the Ruach Spirit. 7. But the end of all things is near. Be ye therefore sober, and watch to petition. 8. And above all things, have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover a multitude of sins. 9. Welcome one another without grumbling. 10. As every man has received the gift, even so serve the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold favour of Elohim. 11. If any man speaks, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man serves, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be esteemed through Yahushua the Messiah, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. 12. Behold, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. 13. But rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Messiah's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may rejoice exceedingly and be glad. 14. If you are insulted, happy are ye, for the Ruach Spirit of glory and of Elohim rest upon you. 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a meddler in other men's matters. 16. And if any suffer as a Nazarene, let him not be ashamed, but let him glory Elohim on this behalf. 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim, and if it first begins at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the Besorah, good news of Elohim? 18. And if the righteous are barely redeemed, then what shall become of the wicked and the sinner? 19. Therefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as to a trustworthy Creator. So that now brings us to the end of Peter chapter 4. So let's go back and have a look at some of the footnotes in Peter chapter 4. So the first footnote we have is in verse 1. For as much then as Messiah has suffered for you. So let's have a look at this. So manuscripts have you, not us. Okay, let's read that again. Manuscripts have you, not us. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. In the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he. Okay, let's have a look at this. For he, any of us who suffer in the flesh for temptations, will loosen from sin by being a little more forbearing than to just give in to the flesh. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 3. For we have spent enough time in the past of our life, the Gentiles. So let's have a look at this, our life, the Gentiles. So this should be clear that you are no longer a Gentile, because Gentiles are not counted in Israel, but outside as heathens. Okay, let's read that again. This should be clear that you are not or are no longer a Gentile, because Gentiles are not counted in Israel, but outside as heathens. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. When we walked in indecencies, lusts, drunkenness, orgies, wild parties, and abominable idolatries. So let's have a look at this. Abominable idolatries. So Peter is identifying the house of Israel that was involved in these bad practices, while Judah was not doing these kinds of things. Okay, let's read that again. So Peter is identifying the house of Israel that was involved in these bad practices, while Judah was not doing these kinds of things. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 6. For this cause was the Basora, good news, proclaimed also to them that are dead. So let's have a look at this. Them that are dead. So we have here not physically dead, but spiritually in their sins. Okay, let's read that again. So not physically dead, but spiritually in their sins. Okay. So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 14. If you are insulted for the name of Messiah, happy are ye, for the Ruach Spirit of glory rests upon ye. Okay, let's have a look at this, rests upon ye. So early manuscripts do not have on their part, he is evil, spoken of, but on your part, he is esteemed. So let's read that again. So earlier manuscripts do not have on their part, he is evil, spoken of, but on your part, he is esteemed. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 16. And if any suffer as a Nazarene. So let's have a look at this. So the mistake is made here by the Greek translators from the Hebrew. While there was never a follower of Yeshua ever called a Christian, but a Nazarene from the prophecy of where the word Netzar is used, and also from John 15:2, where believers are referred to as branches. The only people who were called Christian were non-Torah obedient variety, but this was not the Nazarenes. The Greek translators show their ignorance by calling early Nazarenes Christians, as this was a title for the believers of Serapis, a foreign deity, and her believers were called good men, which was translated Christianos in the Greek or Christian in the English. The term Christus or Christus, which is often translated to Christ, for the Hebrew term Messiah, also belonged to a false deity in the Greek mythology. Okay, so that now brings us to the end of chapter 4 of 1 Peter. So I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. This is Rabbi Jeremy Beaton saying thank you for watching, and Shalom Shalom. Baruch Shem Kivod Malkuto Le'olam Va'ed. Benevolent be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever. Amen.